The Spanish Empire by Carlos Cerda. The Spanish Empire has been one of the most important and relevant powers in the history of humanity. It was the first state that expanded across the five continents. And there was a time in which the Spanish Empire was the nation with more territory all around the globe. Now, let's begin our journey with the formation of this huge empire. For that, we must look at ourselves in the Iberian Peninsula during the 15th century. In the year 1492, the two most powerful crowns of the Iberian Peninsula were Castilla, under the leadership of Queen Isabel I, and Aragon, under the rule of King Ferdinand. These kings got married in the year 1492, making the dynastic union between Castilla and Aragon. This marked the beginning of the Spanish Empire. Both kingdoms were absolute monarchies, and both of them used the feudal social system. Also, both kings were Catholic and were against the Muslim occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. This new united empire was linked with the Catholic Church in Rome. Because of that, the Spanish Empire was against any other religion, especially with the Islam. The evidence of this is the War of Granada, in which the Spaniards managed to expel the Muslims from the Iberian Peninsula. That same year, in 1492, the Spaniards hired a Genoese sailor known as Christopher Columbus in order to create a sailing route to India across the Atlantic. Instead, Columbus discovered a new continent, America. Spain started the expedition towards the continent to conquer its territories, extract the resources, and to expand the European culture. Including the Catholic religion that was harshly imposed in the natives through a political movement known as the Inquisition, where more than 30,000 people were executed as being declared as heretics from the Church. With this conquest, two main viceroyalties were founded in America. The Nueva España Viceroyalty that included the territories of Philippines, North and Central America, and the islands of the Caribbean. And the Viceroyalty of El Peru that covered all South American territories, including Panama. The territories in America were controlled by a colonial status that was in direct control of the central power. These colonies were used for the extraction of resources and also for the expansion of the Catholic religion. Also, they were a sign of prestige among other European powers. In the year 1516, Carlos I arrived to the crown of Spain, being the first king from the Habsburg Austrian dynasty. Because of that, Carlos I was also crowned as Emperor of the Holy Roman Germanic Empire. That was an state that had the hegemony of Central Europe and a large portion of Italy. For these reasons, Spain now had indirect control over these European territories, but unlike colonies, countries like the Netherlands and Belgium were now part of the Spanish Empire. The successor of Carlos was Felipe II, that did the dynastic union between Spain and Portugal, forming the Iberian Union. Later on, during the 16th century, Spain will fight many wars in Europe, such as the Ottoman-Spanish War. Also, in 1618, Spain would fight the 30 Years' War. This was a European religious conflict in which Spain would fight allied with the Holy Roman Germanic Empire as the Catholic side, against the protest countries that were France, England, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Sweden. These wars included many conflicts such as the Anglo-Spanish Wars, and the French-Spanish Wars. These conflicts ended up with the Treaty of Westphalia, in which the Holy Roman Germanic Empire was dissolved and the peace was signed. This happened in the year 1648, that was the same year in which the 80 Years' War ended. That was an armed conflict between Spain and the United Provinces of the Netherlands, which ended up in the independence and the formation of the Netherlands Kingdom. Also, the Two Sicilies Kingdom in Italy obtained its independence, and Portugal divided the Iberian Union with the end of the dynastic union between Spain and Portugal. At the beginning of the 18th century, Carlos II died without leaving descendant to the crown. This triggered the Spanish Succession War, in which the Austrian Habsburg dynasty was allied with England and the Netherlands against the Bourbon dynasty that was allied with France and Portugal. The Bourbons won the war, and Felipe V was crowned as the first Bourbonic emperor in the history of Spain. Felipe started the Bourbonic reforms in an attempt of increasing Spain's economy. In order to do that, he increased the taxes in all the colonies of America. These reforms created a lot of nationalist movements in America that provoked the dissolution of the Viceroyalty of El Peru. This dissolution ended up in the formation of the Viceroyalty of El Río La Plata and the Viceroyalty of Nueva Granada. By mid-18th century, the Seven Years' War started as a continuing of the Austrian Succession War. In this war, Spain was allied with France, Austria, Sweden, and Russia against England, Prussia, Portugal, and the Netherlands. Even though the Austrian side lost the war, Spain only lost the territory of Florida. However, as a resolution of the peace treaty, they won the territory of Louisiana. Also, the Spanish army troops in the Viceroyalty of El Río La Plata won many battles against Portugal, which made possible the conquer of nowadays territory of Uruguay. In the 19th century, after the French Revolution, Spain would ally with France during the Napoleonic Wars. However, Napoleon imposed a satellite government over Spain with his brother in the head of the crown. He will also sell the Spanish Louisiana to the United States in order to improve the French economy. This event was an opportunity for the independence movements in America to declare their independence from the Spanish Empire during the 19th century. All except Puerto Rico and Cuba that remained under the Spanish domain. When the Napoleonic Wars ended, Spain started the American-Spanish Wars in an attempt to conquer back the former territories of Spain in America. This was a complete failure for the Spaniards that lost all their mainland territories in America. Later, during the 19th century, the United States government would declare war to the Spanish Empire. During this war, the United States obtained an easy victory upon the Spanish, and they obtained the territories of Philippines, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. This war meant the end of the Spanish Empire because Spain lost all their territories outside of Europe. This state would later become into a parliamentary monarchy, then into a republic, then into a dictatorship, and nowadays it is a parliamentary monarchy again. However, the legacy that the Spanish Empire left in the world is very rich, such as the expansion of the Catholic Church in America that made possible that today is the most powerful church and religion in the world. But one of their most important legacies is the Spanish language, that nowadays is the second most important language in the world, but in the future it will be the most powerful language in the world. Thanks a lot for your attention. I hope you liked the video. See you soon.